What's up guys, Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be Fire Fist. Now, this deck is super cool, and it used to be really competitive. Like, even just a year ago, this deck was really powerful. Nowadays it's not very, competitive. It is competitive, but it's not exactly the most popular deck anymore. But it's still really cool, having almost every type of summoning method in the extra deck, except Pendulum, of course. It does have some synchro monsters, despite the fact that I don't play any. But this deck is really effective. And the funny thing is that I don't play the Fire Formation Tenki, despite the fact that this is the actual deck it's made to be used in, which is funny because I use it in literally every other deck. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting things off, I play one copy of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist land. This is pretty good just for some generic negation. Plus the ritual spell is really good because you can ritual summon, and it has a Monster Reborn-esque effect, which is really good. Then I play 3 copies of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Panda. If you activate a Fire Formation spell or trap card, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can only special summon one Fire Fist monster from your graveyard, except Panda. Then you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except for Fire Fist, which is fine because all the cards in the deck are Fire Fist except for your Nibiru, but even then that's going to be during your opponent's turn. And then you can send one face-up Fire Formation spell or trap card you control to the graveyard instead, if it would be destroyed by card effect. So pretty good in general. Plus all your cards are continuous, or except for your traps, of course, which are a counter and a continuous. 3 copies of Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Elephant. If this card is normal or special summon, send one face-up Fire Formation spell or trap card you control to the graveyard. Special summon one Fire Fist monster from your hand, except for Elephant. Then you can target one Fire Formation spell or trap card in the graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then you can add one level 5 or higher to your hand, which you're mostly going to search Panda off of it. And if you can tell, they have effects that relate to the monsters first, then they have effects relating to the spell cards, which is really cool. Then I play 3 copies of a Dragon. Once per turn, if you activate a Fire Formation spell or trap card, you can set one Fire Formation trap directly from your deck, which means you can set your Sinto. Then you can set one Fire Formation trap from your deck, and then once per turn, you can send 2 face-up Fire Formation cards to the graveyard. Then target one Fire Fist monster in your graveyard, special summon it. So, on top of just being a free special summon, this can help get your traps on the field. Then I play 3 copies of Raven. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can set one Fire Formation card from your deck to your side of the field. Pretty good in general, just being able to summon to your side of the field. And realize it says if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, which means that it can be used for link plays too, and then you gain more advantage off of that. I play 2 copies of Rooster, just because I want to. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Fire Fist monster, you can add one Fire Fist from your deck to your hand, which is really good. Then once per turn, you can send one face-up Fire Formation spell or trap you control to the graveyard. Set one Fire Formation spell or trap directly from your deck. So if you want to cycle through some of them, you already have a ton of other options, but this can just help continue your plays. 2 copies of Spirit. Cannot be used as synchro material except the synchro summon of a Beast Warrior. I don't play any synchro monsters, despite the fact that I could. When this card is normal or special summon, target one level 3 monster with 2,000 or less defense in your graveyard. Special summon it in defense position, and it cannot And if you do, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of the turn. So pretty good. You could use it for rank 3 plays, which you do have one rank 3 in the extra deck, which isn't bad. One copy of Buffalo, one copy of Bear, and that would round off the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist monsters. I just played these because they're just generic. They're good one-ofs in the deck because they're mostly just play continuers. Then for the hand traps, 3 copies of Imperm, just because Imperm. 2 copies of Nibiru, because Nibiru is just great right now. Plus, this deck has some decent spot removal, all things considered. And despite my better judgment, 3 copies of Prohibition. This card is already, like, super evil. Like, if you can tell what your opponent is playing, you can just lock them out of playing the game. Activate by declaring one card name. Cards with that name and their effects cannot be used. Cards already on the field are not affected. So realize, not a hard once per turn. It's not restricted, which means you can. The reason I didn't play Ash in this deck was because I'm playing this with Called by the Grave at 1. This is the best replacement, despite how evil it is. So you can use this to lock out your opponent from using Ash. You can lock them out from using Gamma. You can even lock them out from using like their main combo pieces like Lockout Eldritch or Lockout Striker Dragon, which is really, really important for those decks. You could even lock out UCT and just not worry about it anymore. Or Lost World, which is really important for their deck. Then I play, for the Fire Formation cards, 3 copies of Fire Formation Tensu. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Beast Warrior in addition to your normal summon, and then all Beast Warriors gain 100 attack. So, similar to Fire Formation Tenki, it has a formatting where it has a really good effect first, and then it has an attack gain. Then I play 3 copies of Domi. This is the ritual spell, plus if it's sent from the spell trap card zone to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 card from your grave, which is pretty good. Then I play 2 copies of Injin. I kind of wish this was a fusion spell. It is the fusion spell of the deck, but it doesn't say fusion in it, so you can't use cards like Verte Anaconda to trigger it to summon off your pretty good fusion monster, but it's not bad. Then I play 2 copies of Fire Fortress atop Liang Peak. This card is always treated as a Fire Formation card, which means it's searchable. Each time a Fire Fist monster you control is normally special summon, place 1 Fire Fist counter on this card. Then once per turn you can remove Fire Fist counters from your field. Activate one of these effects. 2, if your Beast Warrior monsters attacks this turn, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. You can add 1 Beast Warrior from your deck to your hand, special summon 1 Beast Warrior monster from your deck, or extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, which is really, really good because you could summon out this. So this is really, really, really good. Too bad all the Zodiac monsters need Xyz material to trigger off their effect, because that would be broken if you could summon Zodiac Xyz monsters without needing materials. But this card's really good. 2 copies of Fire Formation Sinto, Ultimate Fire Formation Sinto. This is just spell and trap negation. Pretty good. And destruction, which is not bad either. Then I play 1 copy of Tensin. When this card is activated, target 1 Beast Warrior type monster controls it gains 700 attack until the end of the turn. Then all Beast Warrior types gain 300. So it's basically a free 1000 attack on a monster, which is pretty good considering that the attacks can vary so much in these cards. And that is it for the main deck. The main deck is very combo heavy, and I feel like I'm not exactly experienced enough to make this deck really good. So I want you to comment down below if there's some stuff you would change about the main deck. I feel like the extra deck is fine, but the main deck, I'm not sure if it needs work, because I tried playtesting it, it's not bad, but I'm not sure if I did everything right, so tell me down in the comments below. Continuing into the extra deck, 2 copies of Brotherhood of the Firefist Eagle, just probably one of the best link monsters you can play in this deck. You can only special summon it once per turn, then you can activate Firefist monster's effect without sending Firefist or Fire Formation cards from your hand or field to the graveyard, which is really, really, really good, which means you can activate your cards with no cost. Then I play 1 copy of Peacock, just because it's the other link monster. 2 copies of Swan. If this card is special summoned, inflict 200 points of damage for each Fire Formation spell or trap card, which means you can inflict up to 1,000 damage, which isn't bad. Then quick effect, you can send 1 face-up Fire Formation spell or trap card you control to the graveyard, then target 1 card on your opponent's field, destroy it. Which means that it's a quick effect, and then it is sadly a hard once per turn, but if you could loop that, that would have been so cool. Like use Eagle to loop Swan's effect, so you didn't have to trigger and could just destroy their entire field, but sadly you can't because it's a hard once per turn. But continuing into the Xyz monsters, 2 copies of Brotherhood of the Firefist Tiger King. When this card is Xyz summon, you can set 1 Fire Formation directly from your deck to your hand or to the field. Then once per turn, you can detach an Xyz material and negate the effects of all face-up effect monsters your opponent currently controls until the end phase. Then when this card is sent to the from the field to the graveyard, you don't need to worry about this because you'll have Eagle on the field. Special summon 2 level 4 lower Beast Warrior monsters from your deck, which means if this is destroyed, you can either go into a Cardinal or even go into Lion Emperor. I played 2 copies of Cardinal, detach 2 Xyz materials from this card, then target 2 Fire Formation cards in your graveyard, then 2 in your opponent's graveyard, or face-up field, shuffle those targets into the deck, which is really good. Then I play 1 copy of Lion Emperor. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material, then target 1 fire monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, or returning life. Also cannot normally special summon monsters or monsters with that name for the rest of the turn. So, yeah. 1 copy of Hercules. Yeah, let's go with that. So this is mainly to be summoned with your Fire Fortress atop Liang Peak, because if you get 10 counters on it, this is probably one of the best targets, because it ignores the summoning conditions. Continuing from there, generic cards, 1 Hita, because you're playing a fire deck. Remember my deck profile yesterday. I was going to play the Earth Charmer on my deck, but I decided against it because it's more of for mirror matches. But even then, you don't come across a ton of Fire Formation decks or Fire Fist decks, so I mean, it's fine. 1 copy access code for OTKs, and then the Nightmares. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I really want help with the main deck. Tell me in the comments below if there's something that you think I should do with the main deck, because I feel like there's something wrong with it. I just can't put my finger on it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if there's anything you would change about this. And I think I might do some Abyss Actor playtesting soon, so keep your eyes open for that, and I will see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.